Hello everybody, my name is William. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to be doing another FSEconomy flight in the XCub. We'll be departing from Idaho County, flying on to Kuskia. Very short flight, and then going for the return flight on the way back to Idaho County. So I hope you all do enjoy. If you do, make sure to give the video a like. It does help me out a ton. I really do appreciate all the support, and as always, if you like what you see and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel to see more content. As always, let's get into it. Welcome on board the XCub, everybody. We're on the ramp here at Idaho County. We'll be making our flight to Kuskia here in just a moment. We're going to get our aircraft started up, so we'll open up the fuel tank onto the left side. We'll go ahead and put the mixture in, battery on, alternator on, ignitions, fuel pump, nav, and we'll go ahead and do the avionics master since it already comes up with the battery anyways. We do have a guy out in front of us, but the prop looks clear. We'll go ahead and crack the throttle just a little bit and go for a clear prop. There we go. Cranked up, it looks good. Oil pressure's in the green, oil temperature's going to be coming up, fuel pressure looks good. We'll go ahead and kill the fuel pump. Not sure why that guy wants to walk directly in front of us, but he does. Go ahead and, let's see, we are on live weather, but it doesn't seem to be picking up. I'm going to go through, get the avionics set up here in just a moment for our short flight. It's just 13 nautical miles to Kuskia, and then we'll be doing the return trip. And we will be ready to start our taxi, get our flight started, and get out of here in just a moment. Alrighty, we just brought up our wind, switched it over to follow GPS, and put a bearing on the GPS as well as kind of zooming out our map a little bit. It does look like the wind is coming out of the west, pretty light, but still perfectly lined up for runway 26, so that's what we'll be using out of here. We've got our client up. We can see our XCub is available at Idaho County. We'll go ahead and go to actions and start flight. Let's get our, we're carrying one river guide up to Kuskia, and we should have some boat supplies to return back here to Idaho County. We are ready to go for our taxi, so let's go ahead and hit the parking brake. We're going to start our roll. We'll be going off to the left over here, like I said, using runway 26. A nice TBM, a couple TBMs there on the ramp. And just try and make sure that we're clear of all these people here on the ramp. We'll go out to this taxiway and we'll hang a right. All the way down to the end there at 26, and we will be ready to get underway. So we're hanging a right here at Alpha and on down. Should be a nice short flight. We're leaving here and dropping down into I think Kuskia is right off of a river. It's a little grass airstrip. Should be fun to fly into, and then just bringing it back here. Getting a couple short flights in, just familiarizing a little bit. It's hard to see where we are going in a tail dragger, that is for sure. But we're just kind of using the synthetic vision a little bit. It is a little bit of a cheat, but can't exactly like open the window and kind of stick our head out or anything. At least not with this model. So we'll come up to the hold short here and bring her to a stop. Let's go ahead and get all our lights on, and we'll put the transponder into altitude mode. We are ready to go, so we'll be departing runway 26, and then we'll be doing a right turn off to the north, direct to Cusquillas. So let's go ahead and take the runway. It all looks clear. We're going to fly off of the left tank on the way there, and we will switch over to the right for our return. Since it's such a short flight, that should work out pretty nicely for us. We're going to go ahead and get going on the roll here. Let's put that power in. Tail pops right up. And 50 knots, and we are up. This thing is an absolute beast. We're just going to keep it on runway heading until there's no more runway beneath us. And then we will make our right-hand turn off to the north. Don't want to go up too high either, as field elevation here at Idaho County was 3,300 feet, and at Cusquillas it's just under 1,300 feet, I believe. So we'll actually be going down because it's down in the valley. We're kind of up on the plateau. If you watched our flight into Idaho County, kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn it to a heading of 030. And, you know, just because this thing does like to climb, we'll go ahead and go up to 5,000 for the moment. And then we will drop in once we kind of see a good path for us. Should be a really short flight. As we level out, we're already doing about 102 knots, and we're showing just under 7 minutes. Runways at Cusquillas is 1533. Like I said, it's a grass strip. Be first time in here. If live weather updates as well, we may actually see some rain. But I think we would have seen it already since it's only 11 miles away. I don't know if there's an issue, once again, with the live weather. I was working on one of my other flights, but... Alright, we're at 5,000. We're going to go ahead and just lean the mixture just a little bit. And we're going to pull that power back, get about 10 gallons an hour. And watch our altitude. And we are basically just flying direct. And it's going to be about a 5-minute hop. Not bad at all. Just taking the river guide up there and some boat supplies on back. Getting a little bit of practice on some more short field landings in this thing as well. Definitely beneficial. Tail dragger just really seems pretty difficult to master. Something I've always wanted to actually get checked out in real life is a tail dragger, but it's also slightly terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. It'd be interesting if we get some larger aircraft in the sim at some point. I'm sure somebody's probably working on a like a de Havilland Beaver or something along those lines. I know that those are always pretty popular, and I would imagine if something like that comes up, we'll probably need some practice with a tail dragger for sure. But for right now, our little XCub is plenty fun, and hopefully helping me learn how to manage one of these things a little bit better. You see what we're going to drop down into, just this little river going all the way up. This is where Cusquia is, or what Cusquia is in, this little valley. So we'll go ahead and start dropping on down. We'll pull the power out. And start making our way down. It is kind of interesting, like I said, Idaho County, we're kind of sitting just right up here on this plateau. And then there's just these little valleys, not far from us at all. With these towns, rivers, and everything. There's a bunch of little airports around here. Seems like a really great place to have a cub based. A little bit of chop here as we're coming down into the valley. See these little towns and villages or whatever right along the river. Can't say I blame them. I'd much rather be down here in the valley than up on that plateau. Seems a little bit more interesting down here. So you got to keep our eyes peeled. About 3 miles up here, we should have a grass strip, and it's alright. So there's the T of the river and the grass. I bet this is our grass strip right here. Unless it's all the way up there. Let's see. No, it's a ways down. You can see on the map the T and the river and what I was just talking about, and our grass strip should be right down in there, and it's tree and 1.5. The wind is kind of shifted once we're down in here. It's more from the southwest, but it's showing about 3 knots, which is good enough for wind calm for me. So I think we'll go for tree. We'll turn around and we'll take off 1.5. That definitely looks like our grass strip right there. A couple trees on the approach in, but that's not bad at all. Let's start dropping our airspeed. So you drop all these flaps out, it will help us out a ton. There we go, first notch of flaps. Second notch. I don't think we need the third. That thing, it just makes this thing drop like a ton of bricks. We'll sit up in our seat for this. Yep, you can see it's a little grass strip right in front of us. We're holding right around 50 knots. We just got to clear these trees. It's about a 3-knot crosswind almost directly now, so it wouldn't have made much difference either way. Right in over the top of that tree, and then we will pull the power out. A little bit of a bounce. Now full back pressure. That way we can get on the brakes and get this thing stopped up. Could have also gotten our flaps in. That would have helped us with our braking a little bit, but we managed to make it no problem. We will pull up here to the hangar, drop our river guide off. Then I will set the flight up for the return, and we'll make our way back to Idaho County. Alrighty, let's get the client up real quick. That was a super short flight. And we'll set our parking brake. Flight has been logged. Alright, so our river guide is off. We're going to load up some boat supplies. I'm going to set the plane up for the return flight. Not that we really need to, but it's good practice to go ahead and go through. And we're going to take off runway 15. We do have those trees at the end, but honestly, I'm not worried about it with how quickly we can get this thing up and off the ground. Be decent practice anyways. We'll fly the valley up and then pop back into the onto the top of the plateau and make an approach back into Idaho County in just a moment. Okay, we got it set up in the avionics for the return trip back to Idaho County. It's super easy in this plane as well. It's really awesome. You can just go in here, change your destination. You just click. It brings up a nice keypad for you, like this, and you can just do like Kilo Golf India Charlie, and press enter, and there you go. You're good to go. Direct back to super easy plane to use. Very friendly. Glass cockpit like that. It makes it very, very, very nice. But we are gonna go ahead and start our flight, so you could see XCub, Kuskia Municipal. We're gonna go to flight actions and start flight. Got our boat supplies loaded up in the cargo pod, and we will go ahead and hide the client now. We're gonna switch on over to the right tank for the return trip. And like I said, we're going to take runway 15 for our departure. So let's go ahead and get on the get off our parking brake there. We'll go ahead and put the transponder back into altitude mode. Just bring it down all the way to the end. We're going to do 1 notch of flaps for the takeoff. And we will line ourselves up here on 15. This is good enough for me. About 150 on the heading. Make sure everything looks clear off in front of us. Like I said, we do have those trees on our departure, and it will be a little bit of a slight right-hand turn as we climb up to get back on top of the plateau on the way into Idaho County. Let's go ahead and get the power in. Tails up. And we are up and away. No problem with those trees. I mean, just this thing is a rocket ship. Let's go ahead and get those flaps in. We're going for that right turn. Some nice low flying here for a moment. We'll go ahead and pull the power out just a little bit. Fly south down the river for a moment or two, and then we'll jump back up to altitude and make our way over to Idaho County. This plane's just too fun to fly low like this through a valley to not at least do it a little bit for the flight. Idaho County's runway 8 and 26 with the wind. We're going to use 26, which is what we used for our departure out of there. So we'll just return. Get parked up and unload those boat supplies. Tell you, it would not be a bad day to be a river guide on this river in this part of the country at all. Beautiful. I did think there was supposed to be some rain in the area, but I mean, it would have spiced up the flight a little bit, that's for sure, but flying on a nice beautiful day is quite enjoyable, I can't lie. So let's go ahead and make a right. We're gonna follow up this little crease here
500
in the terrain. We'll put the power back up. We're gonna start our climb. It's just 9 miles from the field at this point. And we're just going to work our way directly into there, do a short base to final, basically, is what it's going to look like for 2.6. A nice look out behind us there, back into the valley by those rivers. Yeah, I think we'll have a good time flying around in this area for sure. We're really enjoying this plane as well. It has been quite enjoyable. Today may have been just a really short hop, but just kind of testing the waters a little bit, and don't want to bite off a little bit more than I can chew. I'd rather kind of ease my way out of the area a little bit more and more. I saw there was the opportunity to do a flight into Cusquia and then a quick return flight to Idaho County, and figured that made quite a bit of sense to do. Nice to be able to just do a quick turnaround as well. And we will be exploring the area some more in the future for sure. So there's plenty of time. It's not going anywhere. So we're just about 3,900 feet, almost 4,000 feet on the way back in. It is going to be runway 26 for us. We can see the light going off over there, the airport beacon. That's where we're working our way into, and like I said, we're just gonna kind of do a bit of a base into final for runway 26 at Idaho County here. Just 3.5 nautical miles now. I am pretty impressed with this thing's cruise speed. Not even really like trying to configure it to get a little bit more speed out of it or anything like that. It's almost always at least 110 knots. It's not the fastest in the world, but for this kind of small little plane, these short flights, it really is just about perfect in my opinion. Alright, you can see the airport beacon and the threshold marking there for 2.6. And we've got the ramp that's all the way down on this side, so we'll just have to exit out to the left and then take Alpha back to the ramp. Let's go ahead and start pulling the power out. So, since this is a Cub, we're gonna make, well, it's not the most aggressive approach in the world, but we're gonna keep our speed up and then just kind of drop it once we get right by the runway. Here we go, just a shallow little turn onto final, a short final for runway 26 into Idaho County. Let's go ahead and pitch and drop this airspeed down low enough so we can go flaps 1 and flaps 2. Let's try and sit up in our seat a little bit more. Flaps up. I think we're going to do a 360 so we can take that exit that we just passed. I don't think anybody will mind too much. Just kick the tail around. Back taxi to this exit onto Alpha, back to the ramp. I was a pretty big baby on the brakes there. I didn't want to nose it over. You heard the stall horn going off because I was holding a lot of back pressure to try and keep the nose on the ground while I was on the brakes. It's going to be a bit of a challenge getting used to landing this thing. Taxiing is more of just a visibility thing for me, but landing, yeah, I'm honestly surprised we haven't screwed it up completely yet and nosed it over. Let's go ahead and clean the aircraft up here. We got our flaps up already for the braking. That's a habit I need to get into. We got a transponder on standby, so we'll go ahead and go strobe off and go our landing light off as well. And we'll just taxi back on over to the ramp here, straight ahead. Now we will park up and complete our flight, deliver these boat supplies here, get paid for a couple short little hops. And put the airplane away for the day. Call it good. I do really like that ability of a tail dragger, just to be able to swing it around like that. Let's get the client up. Really short flights both ways, about 12 minutes of log time. We'll hit the parking brake, and there it goes. Our boat supplies are delivered. And that is going to be it for us for the day. I hope you all did enjoy the flight. I know it's a super short one today, but either way, I hope you did enjoy. As always, giving the video a like, it does help me out a ton. I really do appreciate all the support from y'all. It means a ton to me. I love being able to share these videos with you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.